nice book. What a nice book. I just finished reading Harlan Coben's 6 Years. 6 jaar, that's the Dutch title of this. And really, this is the third book of Harlan Coben I have read in a row. And I gotta say, man, that's a fantastic writer. In one of his interviews, he said to the interviewer that his goal is that you go to bed and take one of his books with you with the intention to go and read for 15 minutes. 4 hours later, you will curse him because you just can't put it aside. And I think he pretty much managed to do so because it really is interesting stuff he's writing about. So if you like books, reading books, and specifically if you like thrillers, I would just highly suggest you go out and pick up one of Harlan Coben's books. He has a very impressive back catalog of publications, and he's a very popular writer. So if you haven't done so, pick one of his books and enjoy. Hey vinyl community, welcome back to another episode of RB's Vinyl Corner. And today I'm going to talk about those Reader's Digest box sets I talked about earlier in one of the previous videos. When I was a kid, my father, he had an amazing collection of Elvis Presley records, and I was always mesmerized by it. But one of those records, or I should say box sets that he had, particularly attracted my attention most of the time. And that one was a box set that was released by Reader's Digest, which was called Elvis Presley's Greatest Hits. The reason why I got so attracted to that box set, because the box set had contained 6 records that made up the greatest hits and an extra additional record that focused on his movie songs. But when you put all these records out and you would put the flip side of those records together, you will have a big Elvis Presley photo from one of his live concerts. And I always had a lot of fun with that. Also, that box set was one of the first records my father actually gave me when he started to trust me his records. Unfortunately, when I got older and started to get more into CDs, a lot of my records had a lot to suffer from bad storage, and a lot of those, especially the covers, were damaged heavily. And also in recent years, I lost a lot of my records. And so one of my missions is to try to restore the collection I once had, and in the meantime also adding new records and new genres and new kind of music and that kind of stuff. And so recently I was able to get back in my collection this wonderful box set, which is called Elvis Presley Greatest Hits, and that's the Reader's Digest box set I want to talk about first. So I'm gonna show you the inside because I really love this. It came with a booklet. This is the booklet. It's called the Elvis Story, and it's not very fancy. It has a lot of black and white photographs, and of course, like the title of the booklet already suggests, it tells the story of Elvis Presley's life up to the point where this one was released. All right, so a lot of black and white photographs, really cool, and I really loved it. When I was a kid, I loved this stuff. I watched this over and over again, especially also, the music was absolutely fantastic. So there you go. That's the booklet. It also has a certificate. That's the one. It comes with a certificate and a number, certificate number. There you go. And then the actual records themselves. Let me first show you the extra record that contained in this set was Elvis at the Movies. It has obviously the best of his movie years. Love Me Tender, Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, Wooden Heart, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, Rockahula Baby, Return to Sender, Bossa Nova, Viva Las Vegas, Kissing Cousins, Do the Clan, Double Trouble, Guitar Man, and It's a Wonderful World. Here you go. Record number 1, focusing on the songs from the 50s. And as you can see, all these records have a fantastic, beautiful full color photo on the front. And then the flip side has one piece of the big puzzle that I'm going to show you later in its entirety. Record number 2, continuation of the 50s. Again, beautiful photograph. And let me show you also the vinyl. I'm going to just take out one record because they're all the same. It has a nice green label with the RCA logo on it, and of course Reader's Digest logo, which is the company that released this box set. And throughout the years they have released more Elvis Presley box sets, CDs, cassettes, LPs, and one of the others they have released in those years I'm going to show you later on in this video. The third one, another great picture from the 50s. This one is going to morph into the 60s as well, and another piece of the puzzle. Record number 4, another piece of the puzzle. Record number 5. And the last one, obviously, from the 1970s, record number 6. And again, green record label. Alright, so recently I also found, which was by coincidence when I went to a vinyl hunt in Amsterdam, I also bumped into the cassette version of this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't contain the booklet. It should have been here, but it wasn't inside. But these are the cassettes. The whole 6 records from the original set were spread out over 3 cassettes, and then, like the vinyl version also, it has the At the Movies as an extra record. Really happy, by the way, with being able to add that cassette collection also. Well, so let us take a look at what happens when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together. This is a CD also from Reader's Digest, which is called Legend Lives On. And this one is a CD that actually there are 2 of these double CDs. This one has 3 discs and the other one has 2 discs. I just took out one because, you know, the artwork is the same. But this one I got in, I think in 1987 or 1988. It was released in 1987. I was just a little kid, but I loved Elvis Presley music. And I got this from my father when I got my first CD player back in those days. So it was a very important CD in my youth. And so you can imagine that I was very excited recently to be able to add the vinyl version of that wonderful box set to my collection, and here it is. And again, this is also from Reader's Digest. I'm going to show you Reader's Digest, Elvis, The Legend Lives On. It was a collector's edition, and I always love the artwork. It's simple, it's white, with this golden frame with Elvis, beautiful Elvis from the 50s picture in it, and it has 8 records in it. I'm going to give you a look here. All right. And then the inner sleeves are just plain white backs, not completely plain, but they are custom white backs with plastic insides. But as you can see, it has the Elvis Legend Lives On logo printed on the inner sleeve, and also the Reader's Digest logo over there. And I thought that was pretty neat. So it comes with this nice booklet, just like the other Reader's Digest box set as well, with, again, a story about Elvis's life and some amazing pictures. It's a really nice booklet that comes as an extra in this set. Really cool stuff. again, I'm really excited that I was able to find this and add it to my vinyl collection. I'm really happy about this. I know there are a lot of people around there who are not really a big fan of Reader's Digest, but I think they did a great job on these two box sets. You can really hear the difference in sound when you take the one I showed you before. That has all the electronical reprocessed masters, and these are all the remastered versions, and there's a difference in sound. So there you go. So this is Elvis, Legend Lives On. Again, really excited about this and really happy that I could add this to my collection. And now it's time to go into another episode of A Letter, a Record, and this time it's letter C. Alright, welcome back to another episode of A Letter, a Record. We have discussed the letter R. I showed you this record of Roy Orbison. With the I showed you Iron Maiden. And with the C this time, we're going to go over a record which is called Common Linnets. Common Linnets is a project of a Dutch female singer. Her name is Ilse de Lange, and she is one of my favorite female singers, especially here in the Netherlands. And she became popular in the end of the 90s when she released her debut album, which is called World of Hurt. It was a country album. It was recorded in Nashville. She worked with some of the greatest country producers in the world, and she still does up to today. She has, released a string of very nice records. She started as a country singer, but she also morphed into pop music and rock music a little bit more throughout the years. A couple of years ago, in 2014, she and another singer from the Netherlands got together to form a duo, which they called the Common Linnets, and they participated at the Eurovision Song Festival, and they ended up very close to the first place, but eventually they made it to second place. And they had a big hit with their song "Calm After the Storm," and this is the debut record. And at this point, they also recorded a second one. And she works a lot with different musicians in this project, so it's not a solo project anymore. It's a group effort, which sometimes reminds me of Fleetwood Mac. Every member of the band is writing songs and is doing some vocal parts, and it's really interesting. So this is like country music, roots music, really a little bit folk here and there, really cool stuff. So again, this is Common Linnets. I'm going to show you some of the inside as well. It comes with a insert with a beautiful picture. The other artist, his name is Waylon, but he is not part of the Common Linnets anymore. And this, of course, then is Ilse de Lange. And on the flip side, you can see all the lyrics. And then the vinyl is this black vinyl, 180 grams with a white label. And that's the one. Common Linnets. Really cool. It's a really beautiful record. If you are curious about what they make, if you like roots music, country music, folk music, give it a try. Really, really nice. Common Linnets. And that concludes my new episode on Vinyl Corner. I hope you like this one, and I would gladly like to see you coming back and watch the next video, which will be up in 1 week. See you then.